If you're a DraftKings stockholder or investor, then this is a video that you're gonna wanna watch because DraftKings just announced some pretty big news in my opinion, which makes me even more bullish on the company. So in this video, we're gonna cover what that news is, and then of course I'm gonna jump into the technicals and the charts of the company and give you a couple trade ideas as I typically do. So let's jump right into it. Okay, so what's the big news, right? Like what's going on with DraftKings? If you are a stockholder, I'm sure you saw that the stock was up 6 or 7% in after hours the other day, and that's because DraftKings acquired Railbird Technologies to enter the prediction markets. Okay, this is huge. So if you're unaware of what the prediction markets are, right, it's pretty much gives you the ability to buy or sell contracts, right, of future outcomes. So the best example that I can, give you of this is, I don't know, here's one, the presidential election, right? That was a time where you saw a ton of trading volume in the prediction market, right? And obviously that's a big event, right? So people were betting on who they thought the president was going to be. You can bet on anything nowadays. Like, it's pretty crazy in my opinion. I'd rather just keep my money in the stock market, but nonetheless, people enjoy this, and this is a growing industry, and I don't see it going anywhere anytime soon. Now, my next question would be, right, okay, the prediction market. Okay, so now we know what the prediction market is, but how big is it? Like, what is the opportunity inside the prediction market, right? Like, how much growth is there? And it's funny because I trade on Webull, and I go into the feeds, right, where you can see comments that everybody's leaving. And it's because I saw the stock was up, and I didn't see any news releases or anything, so I wanted to see if anyone knew before I did. And, it finally came out, and people are like, oh, they acquired a new company, and they're entering into the prediction markets, but this is not a big deal. This is a nothing burger, pretty much, right? And I'm like, really? Like, why would the stock be up 7%, if this was nothing? And again, sometimes it's like a sell the news event. But so obviously I started doing some digging, right? Because I am, full disclosure, I do own shares of DraftKings stock, and I'm pretty bullish on the company. And now I'm even more bullish. But check this out, all right? So the prediction market recently, or during the presidential election, they saw the highest trading volume that they've ever had, right? But just recently, the prediction market has hit a record weekly high of over $2 billion, which is a significant increase of user activity, right? And although, as it says here, that the stock market, which trades at about $100 trillion per week, right? It's a smaller sector compared to that, but still pretty substantial, right? Like $2 billion, that's not small either, right? There's a lot of growth there. And, obviously let's keep reading forward, right? And the stock market's all about, future looking guidance, right? And, what's going to happen in the future. A lot of companies get priced into the future, but as you can see, if we keep reading forward, forecasts suggest that the global prediction market could reach approximately $95.5 billion, right? That's dollars by 2035, right? So let's go down further. We have future growth forecast. So that's a compound annual growth rate of 46.8%. Now, you tell me if you think that is an opportunity for substantial growth or not. In my opinion, I feel like this is a great acquisition, and although they are just tipping their toes into this, market because some of their biggest competitors are already in this market, it's just a matter of time before they start, taking over market shares and, start increasing their profitability. And I wanted to mention one other thing when it comes to, the prediction markets. We said there's $2 billion of weekly trading volume compared to the stock market of $100 trillion, right? Obviously, that's a big difference, but this is one thing I want you to think about, right? Like, look at the stock Robinhood, right? And then now we got SoFi that's also entering into that, the trading market. Like, they're a banking company too, but they also do investing and whatnot. These companies are seeing substantial growth, right? And part of the reason why is because so many people are starting to invest, and people like you and I, right, that aren't big money investors, but we're learning so much online and whatnot, and it's making it easier to invest. But nonetheless, like, what I'm trying to say here is that you see these companies with like rapid growth, right? And I feel that DraftKings is like a very similar concept, except with the stock market, you're betting on a company, and you arguably can make risk adverse bets, but nonetheless, right? People like betting, and a lot of people think that the stock market is just betting, right? But what I'm trying to say here is that you see companies like that growing so rapidly. We're seeing that the prediction markets projected to grow to $1 trillion pretty much by 2035. Like, again, I mean, we're talking like the same thing, right? Like these apps like Robinhood are making money on these trading volumes, right? Like the more the trading volume, the more money they're making, right? So same thing with DraftKings. The more people that are using the app, the more people that are making bets and trades, they're making more money, right? I mean, it's a pretty simple concept. And so, yes, like compared to the stock market, it is nowhere near as much when it comes to trading volume, but you see the potential, right? Like the stock market's only growing. It looks like there's a trend with the sports betting. And yeah, I mean, it's just, in my opinion, I feel like there's a lot of room for growth here. Now, if you haven't seen the video that I've already made on DraftKings, going in a more in-depth analysis, and I do touch on like the fundamentals as well, then check that video out up here. But they're already projected to grow revenues pretty well. They're entering into new markets, right? There's a lot of growth ahead of them, and then they enter into the prediction markets, and it's like, granted, other companies that they're competing with right now have been in this, so they're a little late to the race, but hey, better late than never, in my opinion, and it's just a matter of time, right? I mean, check out AMD, for example, and this is like completely different, but we're just looking at it like, everyone's like, oh, AMD is not going to be NVIDIA, right? Even though they make the same product, it's just a different brand, right? But now look, all of a sudden AMD comes out, they're stealing more and more market share as we speak, like, and the company's going insane, right? Like, I mean, the growth rates are going insane. So again, the fact that there's competition, that doesn't scare me. If anything, the competition should be scared. But that's substantial growth, right? All right, so I do want to touch on some of the risk of this company before we jump into the technicals and I go over some trade ideas. Obviously, it's not all rainbows and butterflies, and there is a reason why the stock is down so much right now. And the main reasons why are because of the increased competition, right? They're making a lot of money. They're stealing market share. They're showing growth, right? And so obviously DraftKings competing with, a few other companies, and these companies have already been into the prediction markets, right? So they've already kind of been reaping the benefits of it, and they are more well established when it comes to that. But nonetheless, it will take a little bit of time, but eventually DraftKings will get there and they will start taking some market share. At least I feel that will be the case. And then obviously, I think one of the biggest risk in why the company is down is just, there's a lot of states that they can still enter into. And obviously, the more states they enter into, the more money they can make. So there's a lot of room for growth. And I put this into more detail in my in-depth analysis of DraftKings. But nonetheless, there's a lot more states that they can enter into, and they don't need to enter into all the states to be successful, in my opinion. And the fear is that, with the regulations into these states, that either one, they could just, out of nowhere say, hey, sorry, DraftKings, you got to get out. Like, we changed our minds. We don't want sports betting in our state, right? That's a risk. And then obviously the risk of, just not being able to enter into any more states, like every other state just denying them, right? Like California, it's going to be a hard one to get into because they're against it. And it's a big state. It's a big market share. Now, if they were to get into it, wow. Man, I mean, there's a lot of potential here, right? But there is risk as well. High risk, high reward. But I want you to think of this, right? Yes, there's risk, but you tell me, all right? So these states have an option. People are going to make bets regardless, right? It's called the black market, and they're betting on it all the time, and it's been a thing for a long time, and it's probably always going to be a thing unless companies like DraftKings and others come in and start giving you a legal option of betting, right? And so this is my thing. Like, if a state says no, well, guess what? You still have sports betting going on in your state. Like, you're not going to stop it all. Like, they're going to do it behind your back. And guess what? It's all under the table. No tax dollars, right? Like, think about that. Or, let's say like you're the governor of Florida and you're trying to raise more tax dollars, like to help, fund projects in the state or to help give, residents tax breaks, whatever it is. Like, what better way to say than, hey, DraftKings, yes, sure, you can open up your app in our state. We'll allow it. And, we want a little piece of the pie. We're going to make money on all the profits, obviously. And then there's some states that's saying, hey, I want 50 cents off each bet they make, right? And although that could be kind of bad news, right? And there is a point where, too much is too much. But you get what I'm saying, right? Like, this is, to me, just opportunities for states to make extra tax dollars. Like, why would you not? I don't know. Let's let that soak in for a little bit. But with that being said, do you think this is a nothing burger or do you think this is really good news? Because I think is pretty positive in my opinion. But with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the charts. And of course, this is not financial advice, guys. I am not telling you to go buy DraftKings stock right now. What I'm saying is that I feel, in my opinion, that this is a good opportunity. Of course, you do your own research and due diligence, and you decide whether or not you feel this is a good buying opportunity or not. And of course, let me know down in the comments. So let's take a look at DraftKings stock. I have the 4-hour time frame pulled up right now. Full disclosure, I usually hide this, but I'm in the stock right now. I mean, based off of the chart right now, looks like I got a pretty good average in it. But nonetheless, it was pretty simple for me to buy this. I mean, look at the support. Every time it reaches this level, I mean, it just gets balled up, right? Yeah, sometimes it dips a little bit lower, and I welcome that because I'll buy more. So please, if you want to go lower, go for it. But nonetheless, if it doesn't, I'm pretty happy with my position sizing on this right now. And, you can see I'm up a little bit of money. But let's look at, the 4-hour again. If you're looking at a trade idea, all right, this looks like a perfect reversal forming in my opinion. Okay, so you have this huge sell-off, right? It looks like we were consolidating here, but we could not break above these moving averages, and we just, kept dropping, right? And I actually bought this stock when it was down here before, over here. I bought it, and I sold it probably around here, and I could have obviously made a lot more money, but hey, you're not always going to time it perfectly. My theory is I just want to make a piece of it, right? It goes up 20%, give me my 10%, I'll move on to the next. But DraftKings, I do like for a longer term hold as well. Nonetheless, again, we have a reversal forming here. In my opinion, we have the sell-off, right? We have the consolidation, right? That's what we're doing now. And we actually have now broken above, right? I mean, you can see that candle right here. This is when that news came out. So it ripped up here. We broke above the moving averages here, right? And now we're retesting. I mean, this is a break and retest, right? I mean, this is like your perfect setup. Again, I made a video of this earlier, when it was down around this area. And the fact that the stock is still here after this news, like if you missed that video and you missed an opportunity and you're still on the fence, in my opinion, again, this is not financial advice, but I just feel like that news that came out that they're entering into the prediction markets just kind of, again, makes this a little bit less risky, okay? Nonetheless, if you wanted to manage your risk, you'd take a position in here and just put a stop loss on down here. Because if we do end up breaking this level here, if we end up breaking this level, we're coming down here. This is probably just going to go straight down, right, to right here. And, that is a risk, but I'm in this for a swing trade / long-term trade. So, whatever happens daily, I'm not really too concerned about. I'm going to look at taking profits, when the stock reaches back to all-time highs, probably around those levels. I'll probably just end up taking my profits. We'll see when that time comes, obviously. Now, another thing you could do is you could buy some leaps on this. And, I did this in my cash account. Right here, you can see that I bought, 8 contracts of some leaps. Again, I mean, I'm fairly bullish on the company, but I did leaps because, as I mentioned, worst case scenario, the stock can come back down to here. At that point, I think it would be very undervalued. But if it did, again, these things do not expire for a really long time. January 27, right? I have a lot of time to wait this out. I'm not worried, right? I'm not like, oh my God, like I need this stock to go up, by the end of the week. I'm sorry, I don't gamble my money like that. You'll never really see me buying like short-dated options. And if you do, obviously just manage your risk. I'm not saying you can't make money doing it. A lot of people do it. But it's just a little bit more risky, obviously. But that's all I have for you guys in this one. I hope you found this video helpful. If you're still here, please consider subscribing to the channel, like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.